Good Wednesday morning, North Texas. Thanks for waking up with us here on Daybreak. I'm Dia Wall.
And I'm Matt Howerton. We have overnight developments on the war in Iran coming up. But first, let's get you started with meteorologist Greg Fields and traffic anchor Erica Lopez. Erica, how are the roads this morning?
Quiet start this Wednesday, so I don't know how long it'll last, but we like the nice start. So far, so good.
You may have heard me take a deep breath, trying to hold back the sneeze. Greg, the forecast is gorgeous. The pollen, though.
Yeah, that's been an issue. And it still is, yeah. But at least the weather is nice and pleasant. One more nice, cool morning out there. Temperatures will start to warm up, and that humidity is going to begin to climb a little bit later in the week here as we get ready for some rain and storms moving back into the forecast. But we're going to enjoy today. 60 degrees taking you on out to Fort Worth right now. Those winds light out of the east, 6 miles per hour right now. Winds will become a little more southerly, though, as we go through the day today. And again, they will start to increase as we head toward the latter half of the week now. But still low 50s, had some 40s around yesterday. It's a little warmer, but still comfortable out there for us this morning. 53 as you get out to McKinney, 52 in Greenville. Coming into the Metroplex, you see Dallas and Fort Worth at 60 degrees, and then those lower 50s heading on out to Granbury here this morning. So as we plan our day, we'll start out with lots of high mid-level clouds around this morning. These will thin out, giving way to lots of sunny skies and those light south winds as we go through the day. We'll top out somewhere in the upper 70s, around 78, maybe 79 coming home later today. But again, rain chances on the way late this week, heading into the weekend. More on that coming up. But now back over to Erica, checking on traffic.
Greg, thank you so much. We do want to check in and show you what we have going on so far out here. I want to get you started with our tech stock cameras this morning in Tarrant County, I-20 and Hartman Road. As you get ready to leave the house, it looks like some overnight road work in this area, and that southeastern portion of Tarrant County is clearing out. So that is good news. We can kind of see it right back here with those flashing lights. Crews are working at least to get things fully clear, back open. We typically see that within the next 15 minutes or so. As far as what we're seeing elsewhere, I'll take you over to what we're seeing on the big map. Lots of green out here across North Texas this morning, but I do want to talk about one overnight closure that will be reopening in the next hour. Also in Tarrant County on that western portion, there's a small portion of I-30 that is closed at Camp Bowie, between Camp Bowie and 820. It's going to reopen by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're going to be dealing with this overnight closure through Friday for some bridge work. I-20, 820, and Frontage Road are all good workarounds. Dia and Matt.
All right, Erica, thank you. We have a live look at the White House this morning as a 2-week ceasefire deal between the U.S. and Iran is now in place.
The move comes as a shock to some following serious threats by President Trump and his push to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The story is still developing. Chris Sadeghi is in the newsroom tracking the latest from the Middle East and what it means for us here at home. Chris.
Well, Matt, much of the world watching the Middle East after a day of mixed messages that included some signs of hope for a resolution. After threatening attacks on power plants and bridges and saying an entire civilization would die, President Donald Trump reversed course just 90 minutes before the attacks were set to begin and announced a 2-week ceasefire agreement with Iran on last night. Although sirens signaling attacks could continue to be heard overnight, still there are some conflicting statements about the Strait of Hormuz. Iran said they would allow ships to pass through as part of the ceasefire agreement through coordination with their armed forces. But Trump said on Truth Social the United States will be helping direct traffic in the strait. Some of these details could be cleared up with planned in-person negotiations in Pakistan on Friday. The 2-week ceasefire opens a window to make progress.
That gives us an opportunity, the diplomats an opportunity, to try to take this a new direction, a direction that ends this conflict without a major escalation.
And a lot of Americans wonder if this agreement could help bring gas prices back down. The price of oil did react swiftly to the news, plummeting below $100 a barrel. You should also see your investment accounts get a good bump today as stock futures are up. Matt, back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. We'll have more coverage on the war in Iran throughout the morning. ABC News senior political correspondent Rachel Scott joining us from the White House with the reaction to the ceasefire deal and everything that led up to it. That's going to be at 6:30 on Daybreak.
Today, more witnesses will be called to the stand as jurors decide the fate of the man who murdered 7-year-old Athena Strand. It's possible we may also see video of the crime. On Tuesday, Tanner Horner made a last-minute guilty plea in the case, and prosecutors dropped a bombshell, telegraphing that Horner, a former FedEx contract driver, was delivering gifts to Athena's home when he kidnapped her and killed her, hinting that sexual abuse may have been a motive. Previously, we only knew about Horner's confession, which centered around him accidentally hitting Athena with his truck, panicking, and then killing her out of fear. Prosecutors say Horner should be put to death for his actions. The defense says Horner has been mentally ill his entire life. They're asking for life in prison without parole. Senior investigative reporter Tanya Iser is leading our gavel-to-gavel coverage of Tanner Horner's sentencing trial. You can watch live on our streaming app, WFAA+.
Today, rapper Pooh Shiesty is set to appear in federal court. Born Lontrell Williams Jr., he is among 9 suspects facing charges in the alleged kidnapping and robbery of fellow rapper Gucci Mane at a Dallas recording studio back in January. Williams was released from federal prison last October after serving 3 years for gun crimes in Florida. Prosecutors say a conviction this time could bring as much as life in prison. Granbury residents speaking out against a proposed data center power plant. The debate centers on rezoning more than 2,000 acres along Highway 377 in Hood County. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended denying the change after hearing strong opposition from citizens and neighbors, but City Council overruling that vote, approving the rezoning despite environmental concerns from residents. Okay, boomtown growth in Kaufman County means a major need for care closer to those communities.
This morning, a new hospital is taking shape, and it hits a key construction milestone. Janelle Fort is out in Forney this morning with what's happening and why people are eagerly awaiting this opening. Good morning, Janelle.
Good morning, Dia and Matt. Well, it is all about having critical resources in your own community. Right now, residents here are having to make a trek to get to quality medical care. But as you can see, that likely won't be the case here for long. This is the new Texas Health Hospital here in Forney. It's really starting to take shape. It's actually starting to look like a hospital, and we've seen some work going on already this morning. And today's topping off ceremony marks a major milestone as the building reaches its highest point. That matters here in Kaufman County because this is once again one of the top 3 fastest growing counties in the country, percentage wise. And with all of that growth comes a real need to build out the things people count on the most. So when this opens in 2027, this will be a full service hospital with emergency care, surgery, labor and delivery, an ICU, advanced imaging, and 64 beds to start, plus room for future growth. It's also expected to bring hundreds of jobs to the county. We spoke with Forney's mayor, who told us this is really about making sure growth comes with support.
Honestly, fast growth, it's really meaningless if it's not with an infrastructure to support families. And this hospital delivers exactly that. This is really about peace of mind. It's about knowing that when something happens, help is right here in your own community. That's the importance of it.
Yeah, so this is just a big indicator of the fact that they're putting the necessities in place for this really fastly growing community, guys.
And Janelle, growth is a good thing, but it seems to also be accelerating some other problems in that area. The mayor alluding to that. It's great, but you want to have the infrastructure.
Yeah, infrastructure, big thing. We're seeing that across communities throughout North Texas as we're seeing all of these boom towns pop up. But specifically here in Kaufman County, this hospital is actually off of US 80, and that is a trouble spot. It's this place where TxDOT right now is working to expand it to try and keep up with the growth. And coming up at 6, I'm going to have a whole piece where I go in, dive into the project going on and how it's impacting communities here in Kaufman County. I'll send it back to you guys.
Looking forward to that, Janelle. Thank you. Now let's get you 3 things that you need to know. Dallas is considering honoring a different leader of the labor movement. The move comes as many organizations are distancing themselves from the late labor leader, Cesar Chavez, and the recent sex abuse allegations against him. Today, a committee will discuss a day recognizing United Farm Workers Union co-founder Dolores Huerta. Now, in a bombshell interview, she said that Chavez raped her. If approved by the committee, the full council, Dolores Huerta Day would be this Friday, April the 10th, which is her 96th birthday. Bill Gates will be the next person to testify about his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The tech mogul who co-founded Microsoft will answer questions from members of Congress June 10th. Gates is named in the Epstein files and said he met him to get support for his global health philanthropy. The prison guard, who was the last person to see Epstein alive, will also be interviewed next month. With rain back in the forecast, we want to alert you to a windshield wiper recall. This is for more than 400,000 Ford and Lincoln SUVs and trucks. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the wiper blades could stop working or break away on Expeditions, Super Duty pickups, and the Lincoln Navigators. You can look up if your vehicle is part of that recall at WFAA.com.
All right, time this morning. It's 5:10 on this Wednesday. We're learning more about some tense moments in downtown Dallas, a big police response to a reported suspicious package. Still to come on Daybreak, what we've learned about one person who was taken into custody.
And what's inside Artemis II Mission Control? A popular Texas company makes a surprise appearance for space fans. We'll show you when we go in the feed next.